Welcome back to my channel. I'm going to focus more on the effect government giveaway policies have on the economy in general and how that affects many others. Here's the main thing. More economic growth means more jobs and better paying jobs. More people with jobs means fewer people who need help. I'm not saying we shouldn't help people. I am saying we need to consider the trade-offs as well as determine where any help we do give should come from. With that in mind, consider how we are often told how much better Europe is about these things and that we should copy them. Well, not so fast.
Years ago, America's economy grew neck and neck with the European Union's. But about 15 years ago, Europe's growth stagnated. Today, America is 50% richer, even though the EU has 100 million more people.
When we don't have growth, we can't make life better for people.
There's so little growth that the poorest U.S. state is now richer than most European countries. Why?
You have to realize that trying to remove all problems can just make things worse down the road when the economy stagnates. Just imagine how many more people wouldn't need help if Europe's economic growth had been 50% higher too. Yet it is also true that there would still be people with economic problems, no matter what you do. At some point, you just have to say, that's all we should do. Still, people think they can just tax the rich.
Because of the very same policies some Americans now want us to copy, like higher taxes.
We will tax the rich!
But what do you do when you run out of the rich? Then you tax the almost rich, and then you run out of them.
Exactly. But lots of people think the vast wealth of the super rich solves the problem. Well, not really.
But in America, we now have absurdly rich people.
If you add up all the value that these individuals have, it's nowhere near enough to pay for all the obligations that the federal government has.
True. I forget the exact figures, but I think it was something like if you took every penny of wealth from every billionaire, it wouldn't even pay for government demands for a year. And remember, once you have literally taken everything from the super rich, you don't get to do it the following year because it's already gone. And also, they no longer have the money to invest in more business expansion. It's a lose-lose deal. So you do the same to those with millions of dollars, and then their money is wasted buying votes with policies that favor the lazy. Yes, I know there are people truly in need through no fault of their own, but that's where charity comes in, especially local charity rather than federal welfare, which is rife with fraud. As more help is provided, more and more people will be like these.
Meet the gypsies on benefits and proud.
Thank you so much, bro. She's give me home free, yeah? She's give me money free. She's give me everything.
Maybe that's good enough.
But who is paying for it then? The more people who choose that lifestyle, the fewer people are paying taxes.
Yep, more and more people on the dole and fewer people to pay for it. That trend will continue, and the economy suffers, hurting more people. Consider the percentages.
Because of such laws, about 40% of the EU's spending now goes toward welfare.
Wow, what a deal. 40% of spending for welfare. No surprise they have poorly growing economies.
They take care of people.
But it also entraps you. They get stuck in low-end jobs. They don't start businesses like we do because they don't have to.
Politicians actually tend to love this. What is a negative for you is a positive for them because you then look to government to take care of you, giving politicians who take advantage of these problems more votes. And more people will take advantage, essentially killing the golden goose. Congressmen usually don't look at the economy and budget and declare, this is a fair percentage of tax money, so now we need to focus on how to best use it while avoiding waste. No, each politician needs to add more so they can say, look what I did for you, even as they rob us blind. Here's another do-good problem.
European rules can make it almost impossible to fire a worker.
It's not so easy to just let people go.
Why would you hire anybody when you are essentially responsible for them for the rest of your life?
What do you mean you can't fire them? If they don't show up, you can't fire them?
You have to go through an extremely bureaucratic sequence. The government will decide whether or not you are right in saying this person is not doing his job.
Exactly. In the name of government protecting workers, they defend bad workers, which hurts good people. Having to go through a government bureaucrat who has no stake in the situation other than political is a recipe for disaster. Companies will try to get by with as few workers as possible to minimize their risk of being stuck with a bad one. Thus, more people without jobs. All these things and more are hurting Europe's economy.
Europe now has 0 of the world's biggest companies. You have to go down all the way to the 20s to find any European company. American firms leave Europe's in the dust.
Seems like we shouldn't copy Europe.
Don't the governments see what this has done to their economies and change these rules?
A lot of the politicians, they thrive on having a population that is dependent on government because they vote for you then.
As I often say, having people suffering is great for politicians. They don't have to actually make things better, but just sound like they are. Politicians are really effective at sounding good. Thanks for watching, and don't let the trolls stop you from speaking out.